truth.
Man, you'd think this is the first time I've done this today. It is. I'm Jim Price, Jim Price Show Daily Update. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Oh, hey, the government told me a secret. They told me what the date is. It's a big, big mystery because it's all made up anyway, right? We're just kind of going along with it, the whole time change thing. Anyway, I'm still going to say it every time, guys. We are February 20th. It's a Friday, 2026. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here. Yes, we are on a Friday, and man, we're already at the 20th. This means this month is over. I've got interviews starting in the March already, so people are asking for interviews, and then kind of crazy. Where'd this year go? So anyway, I really felt like it was kind of gonna be a little bit of a flat day today on some of the conspiratorial things, but I do a quick confession here. I do like Tucker Carlson for a lot of reasons, a lot of things, because he says a lot of things I'm saying, right? I'm same, right? But there's been times where people have called into question whether he is actually like CIA. And so you kind of go, okay, wait, what? So yeah, there's a little bit of a discussion out there about Tucker being, because his father was CIA or something like that, that there is a connection there, which again, hey, it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. I'm gonna call it a duck. And there's I don't know. I've seen changes in him. I say that I have always trusted him only because I felt like he was authentic about when they got into his emails, and there's some other things about some of his travel, and he felt like that was a bridge too far for him, which, if that's what it takes to get a guy to wake up, well, that's kind of what it took for me to wake up in a lot of ways. I didn't have the show prior to that, or even the family. I mean, I had a lot of military influence. I had a lot of things, not so much from a family, but just from the fact that I was in military. I am a disabled vet. I have given almost 2 decades doing private contracting stuff for the Department of Defense, or War now. But anyway, the stuff with Tucker it kind of leaves me a little bit out there in a way that I don't want to say, hey, man, I completely trust you, because he does. There's some touches around his life, around the edges, just like the whole stuff with the whole Kirk thing. That really, that's really fallen apart, and it's not looking good. So Erica Kirk and her backstory, I was a little defensive for her on the whole Romanian thing, because I did look into some of it and tried to figure it out, and I couldn't see anything. But I didn't work real hard either, because I didn't think it was that big a deal, because I thought other people had already been on it, right? And this is about, I heard about this stuff with her last year, like a year ago, like this time last year, that she had something that his wife or whatever had some connections or whatever to some human trafficking. And I was like, what? And I'm going to get on in there. And this was like a long time ago. But anyway, Erica's got a whole big old line of conspiratorial things in her background. I mean, gee, many Christmas, the fiancés she's had, the lying about dating for 5 years, not dating for 5 years before she met Charlie. And there's a lot of that stuff has just fallen apart. So anyway, well, and then Tucker, his father worked for, the government. So whether he was CIA or whatever he was, or whether he was just a guy who swept the floors, whatever. And then Tucker he's been been his own little brat of a way, and that's fine. I like it, because he kind of gets out there and throws a fit a lot, and I like that part. I mean, he gets out there and says some things. So can I trust him 100%? No, I can never do that, especially with, where he's at and how much contact he's had. But yeah, maybe he has saw the light. Maybe he did have that moment, that aha, oh shit thing. And maybe he really did. Maybe he really saw Jesus, right? I don't know. I haven't shook the man's hand. I haven't really talked to him. I've never really met him. I've seen him. And, but I'm just saying that if I had a chance, I'd ask him those questions. Like, hey, how is it that there's all these things? And if he wants to be aggressive about it, or he wants to be genuine about it, or have genuine concern that it's something that people believe, that say about him, it's like, hey, man, that's not who I am. These are the things that happened. This was my day of I accepted Jesus. I was baptized, whatever that is, right? Because we all have those moments, right? For me, it was me going through the raids. It was me having that moment of, wow, I'm not, I guess not in the cool kids club anymore. I've obviously pissed in somebody's Cheerios I didn't know. And it was just one of those things. But guys, I don't know where he's at. But anyway, here's my thing. There was some stuff out there written about Tucker Carlson getting in and out of Israel because he went into the airport, wanted to do the interview, get back on the plane, and get back out. Why? Well, because he hasn't been really friendly with Israel, and he's got a fairly big platform. A lot of people do listen to him very intently. And so when you see millions of people, and then we're talking millions of people logging into his stuff across all the platforms every time he talks, and I listen to a lot of his stuff, but the thing is, I don't listen to it I listen to probably maybe over a month, over 30 days, I may listen to a combined maybe an hour. So that'd be like 1 or 2 minutes a day, or something where I caught something one day, or I caught about 15 minutes of another day. So anyway, but he has people that are really out there, and he's really moving the needle on some things, because he has kind of acted like he's seen Jesus, like he's accepted Christ as a Savior. He's done the whole thing, right? He's walking the walk. But hey, we always have to make sure that we're being discerning and we're being mindful of that. We're not just following the next butthole in front of us. So we have to be careful. But he did go into hey, Jeremy Phillips, good buddy, what's good to see you. He did talk about this, and I want to play his reply to when he flew in, because people were saying that he wasn't withheld, he wasn't held up. Here's a video of him taking a photo with the security, and then he's going to give an explanation, and he does it at the very end. But he does give a good explanation of of his outrage. I think he almost kind of I don't know if he told the story backwards anyway, just listen to it here. I'm going to put it on the video here. But I think it's important to see where the touches in our life are happening in real time. And this is what real media is doing, where Tucker's not being ran through the Fox media machine, but he's actually out there independently doing this. And so you're going to get what he has to say, and then all of a sudden you're going to click, because we're going to show the video. So
this interview,
anyway, here we go.
It was cordial. And at the end, we're set to fly out. We have a time, we have to get out, and the plane is sitting right outside, and we're ready to go. And for some reason, the Israelis still have our passports. There are 5 of us there, and 4 of us are flying out on this plane. One's flying out commercial with our gear. So my business partner and I, which were standing there, we've never left the airport, never went anywhere. But our 2 producers have spent the night before in Tel Aviv, and they're called into rooms and given the 3rd degree. Now, keep in mind, they're about to get on a plane and leave. In fact, we're late. We have to get out of there. We have a slot to get out. And security, whoever this is, won't let them go. So I don't really know what's going on at this point. I'm like, where are our guys? We got to get out of here. So one of them comes out and he says, that was the weirdest experience in my life. They asked me questions about the interview. Who did you speak to? Keep in mind, this was like 8 feet from where we did the interview. Well, the U.S. ambassador. I'm like, Huckabee, what did you talk about? Why did you ask those questions? Was it a hostile interview? And of course, everything in the diplomatic terminal is taped. Everything in Israel is taped. It's a police state. It's a surveillance state, obviously. You go to Israel, they put software on your phone. Everybody knows this. They're constantly spying on you more than probably any other country.
They do.
And so they know the answers to these questions. But they're asking my producer, like, where do you work? How many people work there?
Jeez.
Do you go to the office? Where is the office? What are their names?
Trying to catch you live.
They're doing like an intel op and humiliation exercise on my producer. This isn't security. We're leaving.
Yep.
Right now.
Yep.
And they're holding his passport. The interrogator is holding the passport in his hand as he's asking these questions.
Right.
So he's telling me this, and I said, this is the most outrageous thing I've ever heard. Huckabee's gone by this point.
Yeah.
You're an American citizen who's just had a conversation with the U.S. ambassador, and some thug is demanding details of that conversation? I hope you didn't answer. And he's like, no, I didn't. I don't know what to say. Meanwhile, our last guy, the youngest man who was traveling with us, our last producer, is still in a room being questioned. So I pull over one of the guys and said, we got to get out of here. So I don't know what this is about. It's outrageous. And, there's nothing I can do about this point, but we got to go. And this woman comes up to me and says, look, let's just go. We're going to bring you to the plane and he'll come later. I said, no, it's my producer. He's being interrogated, asked totally over the top, fully inappropriate questions that have nothing to do with security at all. Pull up your website, show us your text exchanges with other people on your staff. What are your politics like? And again, what did you say to the U.S. ambassador and what did he say back to you? Those are not relevant questions if you're trying to keep your country secure.
So what this is talking about, and what I want you guys to get in mind here, is that this has actually hit like the part of the mainstream media kind of talked about this for a minute, but it did go around the political world. It did create this wave that Tucker was full of shit, that he was not withheld. And that's the problem, guys, is this is what happens. Now Tucker has to go back out there and talk to the people who will listen. Because most of the people who don't want to listen, who want to build a greater wall against him, have now got another brick to lay. Or they've got another person to convert that says, oh, see right here. Oh, see. And this is the problem, guys, that we live in the movie. We want to talk about the movie Wag the Dog. The movie Wag the Dog, I've said this before. Go watch it on Netflix or whatever, Hulu or wherever you can find it. But the movie Wag the Dog is this movie that will really show you exactly how the machine manipulates us. How the tight-in shots make it look like, the repressed, when they were playing rugby and they had mud on their face. I mean, it's like, guys, this is really getting this is where he's experiencing this in real time. And then you're going to see he brings the receipts, and it's really just like a simple little thing, and he doesn't have to over-explain the receipt, but the problem is that he has to explain it all because they've already tried to besmirch him. Is that besmirch him? Talk shit on him? Anyway, here we go. Let's listen to the last of this. Here we go. It's very good. Just keep listening.
Those are intel questions, and they're over the top. And I said, I want this guy out now. Let's go. We got to go. And they said, no, just leave him here. We'll bring him to the plane later. Twice they told me that. Just leave your guy behind. No, I don't think so. So I was enraged by this. Get on the plane. We get a text from a reporter who somehow knew that this had happened. I have no idea how. I had no interest in publicizing it, actually. There was, a long trail that showed that the U.S. Embassy had been coordinating against us in a public relations battle before we even got there. They were leaking that we demanded to do it at the airport because we were afraid to go into Israel. We're cowards. Okay, we're cowards. Right. And so I just said to the reporter by text, they pulled my guys into a room, interrogating them. This is outrageous, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The interesting thing is I never heard from Huckabee or anybody to this moment from the U.S. Embassy about what security did to my producers. They didn't ask us. And instead, Huckabee went out and called me a liar. So it raises, again, the question.
Wait for it.
Who exactly is Huckabee working for?
Wait for it.
We're American citizens in a foreign country. He's our ambassador. He represents our country. We pay his salary, but he's taking the side of the foreign government without even calling to say, hey, what happened to you at the airport? Did you get hassled? Did your guys get hassled? No. He just immediately repeats their lies without even consulting us.
Wait for it.
So, like, what are we looking at here? We're looking at the reality, which is if you're an American in Israel, you can be certain that your government will take the side of the Israeli government and not your side. And really, is that so different from the experience of Americans in the United States? Can you be sure that your government will take your side over the Israeli government? No, of course not. They will always take the Israeli government's side over yours. And that's the core problem. Even if you support a war with Iran, I think the most pressing issue for Americans is that we kill the Ayatollah or whatever.
Wait for it.
You still have a fair expectation that your government, because it is yours, you pay for it, it exists to serve you, and for no other reason, you have an expectation that your government will take your side against a foreign government. But the daily lived reality, the obvious truth, visible to every single American, is that's the opposite.
Wait for it.
Of reality. In fact, if you criticize Israel in your country, your government will work to censor you. If there's a standoff between you and Bibi, you know whose side your government's going to take, Bibi's side.
It's coming.
That is not sustainable.
Yes, we know.
That is too humiliating. It's too clearly an inversion of the natural order. Your government exists for you, not for a foreign government. But that's not how we live in this country or in Israel. So that's what we learned. And one last thing. The Israelis apparently went, probably with the help of Mike Huckabee, went to the surveillance tape inside the diplomatic terminal and pulled some clip. And they're, of course, getting all their little bots online to promote it, of me with my arm around somebody to show that actually I'm lying about what happened. That person was our driver who drove us from the plane to the terminal, a short drive. Very nice guy, good guy, Israeli guy. And right when we arrived, and he said, could I get a picture? Of course. He's a nice man. So I just put my arm around him, took a picture. That's what that is. That was before the interview. It was before our producers were hassled by the thugs and asked ridiculous questions. It was before any of this happened. So that's just another installment of the propaganda war. Thought we'd give you the backstory on that.
So, like I said, and Curly May, I've been talking about Tucker and the fact that there is a part of him and his background that we do have genuine distrust for. But the point of it is, guys, is that this is the same experiences that I've experienced. I understand this. I know what this looks like in real time. And so, whether it is really happening to him or he's giving a cautionary tale of what it is like to have a tyrannical government, I don't know. I don't know what he's doing there, because you can have the emotion of you can be mad, say, oh, he completely lied, but there is emotion created that does happen in your government. That does happen to me. It's happened to others. I mean, we have people that we just talked about this week that are in jail for chlorine dioxide, the same stuff you can buy on Amazon. So the point of it is that whether he's a psyop or not, and I like I said, I got a 80-90 trust on the guy. Okay, I always have very big discernment with him because of his background. Now, like I said, if maybe he saw Jesus and he's been baptized and he's really changed his spots, hey, more power to him, and I'll lean in with him if I can trust him. But I've never met the guy, and I don't really know him personally. I've seen him in public before at events that I've been at, and I have not personally met him or spent time with him at all. If I haven't met him, I couldn't spend time with him. So anyway, we're backing that up. But anyway, so the problem is, guys, is listen. This is a direct lesson, good, bad, or indifferent, about what governments think they can do to people. And whether it's the guard or the captain of the guard or it's whoever's pulling the strings. I mean, the sad part of it is that I do understand that there are times where, you need to obey your command. You need to do what you're told. There's a lot of things at risk. And there are other times where it's like, I don't know. I've seen things happen in our society where the over pursuit of a person who won't pull over for a speeding ticket leads to a death. Well, he didn't pull over. It's $150. You know, the sad part of it is that it's we've justified too much of that, right? So anyway, I just, whether the story is real or not, it could be completely fabricated. I don't care. I've seen the video of him putting his arm around the guy, and they have a quick photo, and then he walks away, and the other guy walks the other way. And the guy actually does look more like a driver than any kind of like TSA security guy. He looks like he has like a coat on, and like he's not like in there with handcuffs or a gun or anything like that. Didn't look that at all. So again, I got to give it some of it, but here's the problem. Whether it's Tucker or it was me or it was Jesus Christ getting treated that way, it doesn't matter. Nobody should be treated that way, and nobody should be lied about. See, the problem is, first of all, is that there's two things. Maybe you do treat him that way, and you just ignore it, move on. But here's the thing: is you did treat him that way, and then you tried to cover it up. And so that to me is not just the, hey, we kind of got screwed up, I got a little mad, got a little, but they doubled down on it. And so again, hey. I'm not blaming him, or I'm not blaming the Israelis, but I just say that, guys, listen, this does happen in our country, inside of our country. He's right in the saying that the Israelis Israel is the most police state like on earth. They love watching each other's, pee videos, I guess. It's pretty, it's absolutely intrusive. And there's, by the way, guys, all cell phones on earth, period. Maybe that Unchained one or whatever it's called, or there's one that's out there, but maybe that one is. But, thank you, Julie. But that one may not, but all of them actually have Israeli spyware. I don't know what I was going to give it another fancy name. I was going to make it sound, but it really is just spyware. It literally is collecting all the data. Now they're saying it's not going back to Israel, but it's being collected by your government over in Idaho and Salt Lake City, and one of the biggest memory bank farms, whatever you want to call it. It looks like a mall. It's bigger than any mall you've ever seen, and all it is just storing every single data stroke that's going out on Earth. On Earth. And then specifically, they have it broke down to where they can go pull your entire right out if they want to. And if they tell you they don't, and they're like, oh, we had to get a subpoena to get to his iPhone. Oh, just tired of it. It's just tired of it. I mean, they know that they've got us hook, line, and sinker on every keystroke of our life. They know that. And they let us run around in our little cages, and they let us act like that. But the problem is we let them treat us like that as well. We voted for the Patriot Act. We didn't even read it. We didn't even look into it, how much of a cage it put us into. We didn't mind going off the last little bit of the silver gold standard that we were barely on because we were going into petroleum, and we were just looking for a little bit of cheap gas. And so we started buying crap from Japan and all this other stuff. Well, we're just looking for the next. We're just looking for the next. We're just looking for the next. Guys, they've been having us on this hamster wheel of debt and slavery, and we're letting it happen. Curly May. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, Curly May. Yeah, it's some days are better than others. But the idea that, here's the thing, guys, that there's nothing I'm saying. I wish I was able to be as free as I know that when people were moving away from what they knew was tyranny of England and going into the new free colonies, that there were people that were really terrified to lose that tyranny. But there were people at that time talking freely in a way that we can't do that on the air. I can't do free speech here. I can't say weird shit. I have to make sure I stay in certain lanes. I can't accidentally say, because everything is just torn apart and it's still censored. But what would it have been like back in, the early 1700s? Where people were literally tired of the military walking in their house and just taking what they want or accusing you of crimes you've never committed. Oh, I don't know. That sounds pretty familiar. But we call them policy officers now. Or sheriffs. We allow for it now. We allow for the no-knock warrants. We allow for the raids. We allow for the tear gas, the flashbangs. It's okay. We'll shoot your dog and we'll shoot you too if we just, oops, you're dead. You understand that that's kind of how it works, right? Because they have immunity. Oops, we killed him. Shit. Man. Well, I'm going to have to go on administrative leave for 3 months. I'll be at home, guys. Sorry I shot the dude. Look at him up, guys. I'm not making fun of anything. I'm just telling you exactly how it works. But we've allowed for that to happen. We're okay with that. It happened in my own house. Somewhere along the line, I mean, we have really given over so much authority. I talk to you guys about the Constitution, and I talk to you guys about bravery, and I talk about it with this poem, boom, it's right here. It's a whole thing, right? I put effort into this stuff, guys. It's like, and I say this, and I try to live this in my daily life, but I know there are things that I can't say because there are people that have these hidden hands in life, and I've experienced it firsthand, but I went through that to get here, but I know that there's things I can't say anymore. I don't know what I would really say any different, but I know that I do sometimes limit myself. I make sure I think about, do I name a name? Do I say for real what this is or that is or this is? There's times I leave some details out about the exact persons or things. I know I do that, and that's not fair. I'm sorry to you guys if you feel like I've left something out, but this world is it's pretty rough out here. But it's pretty rough because we don't do this together. We've got a lot of reasons to be together, to bind together, to say things together, to go out and do things together. And the thing is that how do you make people unweird? When people are stuck in their little stupid little houses and they're not getting in the sun and they're sitting there being blown out with blue light in their eyes and they're all like, well, I don't want to do anything. Maybe the government will feed me. And that's what they've built. We've got to be able to say that we want to live our own lives. We got to be able to come together and quit being so pacifist and just giving in. Demand, do not buy Oreos until they stop putting bullshit in there. I would rather eat a Oreo made from bullshit because that would still honestly have more beneficial bacterias and there would be fiber in there and it may taste like bullshit, but at least it was real. But that's the point. Stop buying Oreos. Don't give in. Go buy the Hydrox if they still make them original. If they don't make them original, find one local and support that brand to death. Buy Oreos, their Oreos, and give them out to people because you want to make sure that Oreo makes it, not the commercial one from Nabisco. But you put the time in, you put the effort in, then you make it yours. But if I'm out here yelling in a metal can on top of my head, And I'm just echoing back to myself, and it's not doing me any good. It's when we come together with this stuff. And the greatest thing that they fear, all these things with COVID and everything, was people coming together. And here's the sad part, guys. Do you know that literally everything in the Jeffy files, we're going to call it the Jeffy files. Everything in the Jeffy files is literally to the point of debunking every single thing that anybody has been attacked for on the internet since the internet has started. From weed, we know that they were messing with that. They were trying to keep that out of access to the public. We know that was in there. We know that they were doing the whole genetically modifying, looking for these perfect species that never stopped through the German experimentation, which was going down through the Jewish lines. The Khazarians, come on, guys. Come on, stay with me here on this. So what do? Do we all just stay in our houses and just let the weird people bang out views better than the not weird people? Do we let those capitalize on weirdness instead of the intellects and the brilliance of today? Do we support those that are doing the smart work, the hard work, or do we let those dingbats get ahead just because they're weird and they're the only thing out there? What do we support? What are we pushing out there? How are we putting together what we want to see our future look like? And the problem is, guys, I wish that life, we really did have life down to where it was just a little monkey button, and we just push that button until the little pellet comes out, and that's our little food pellet for the day, and that's how easy life gets. And it is necessary for us to come together and do these things, but it's also necessary for us to take actions and do things and become precinct heads, to be poll watchers, and not the ones like, down on Friday nights. We're talking about voting booth workers. We need to be in there and participating in that part of our voting system, because there's not enough support there. And then I think you get a lunch out of the deal or something, or like a gift card or with $90 or something. I don't know. Anyway, the thing is that you've got to do things to get behind this. But if we don't want governments like this succeeding, let's say that Tucker's story is all bullshit, but let's take it as a metaphor story. Let's take it as it's a story that has a lesson in there, So we'll say, okay, what's the lesson? Well, government came in, asked a lot of questions, was pissing this dude off, blah, blah, blah. Why are you still holding my passport, blah, blah, blah. Hey, we should be able to just get in and get out of here. We never left the airport, so we shouldn't be getting re-inspected. Which, hey, every state and every airport I have been at, going in and out of TSA is completely different. Completely different every time. So I can't even imagine how different it is going from country to country. Like if you're really hopping around countries. Anyway. But let's just say it's all just make-believe. It's just a story, a little wives' tale. We're just going to tell this little bedtime story about how governments can come in and shake you down. Let's just say that's that. How about we work hard enough that it is so terrifying for another country to treat a person like that. They would be so embarrassed because of how powerful we are with the freedoms and liberties that we demand, and that we're responsible for ourselves and what we do, and we don't mind riding in airplanes without having to go through county jail processing. I would like to get on an airplane without going through county jail processing. TSA is the exact same process as going through county jail. Take all the things out of your pockets, take your belt off, put it all in the tub. Take your shoes off. Okay, you put it all in the tub? Okay, and then, all right. Yeah, keep your driver's license with you. But no, give me your driver's license. No, leave it in there. Now this time, no, yeah. All right, go through the magnetometer, put your hands up. They go ahead and they check all the way through your cavity, make sure there's nothing stuck up inside you. Just like TSA. But we've accepted that. But we should be We should live in a country where we don't fear that. And see, the problem is that we always think, well, it's a safety thing. Well, so everybody just wants to blow up Americans. So why? The problem is that I think we've created enough problems that we're trying to fix a lot of things, and we're doing a lot of good now. But we've also spent like $17 trillion blowing up a lot of people's homes. And maybe they've got some remorse for that. Maybe they feel like they got a little bit of a cross to burn. I don't know. But guys, I don't like the idea that we have so many restrictions. I mean, I have to sign into my computer, and I have to do all these register things to get a computer online. I have to tell them who I am to get a modem or a router. I have to tell them all this stuff about my phone. You think about how crazy that is? 20 years ago, we weren't giving out information like that to everybody. Hell, you get a cell phone, you just go up to Walmart and you blip, blip, blip. Hey, I got a new phone, man. It's my phone. blip, blip, blip. You know, you're just like, oh, yeah, I got to put money on it. And nobody knew. It didn't matter. But now I've got apps with God stamps in my phone that I don't even have the app in my phone anymore, but because it carries over from my phone number, oh, yeah, that's a whole thing too, guys. Every time you download an app, there's a God stamp in there, and they can track it from the back side. Talk about God stamps. You'll find out some things about your phone. So there's so much about this whole thing. I don't care whether if he was going into Russia and that happened in Russia. I don't care if it happened if he was going into Sudan. I don't care if he was going into Japan. Ooh, Sudan into Japan. The point of it is that, you know, we should really not have governments that are doing that. Really. And the fact that they are acting silly about, like, whoa, what did you guys talk about? What are you guys doing in there? Like, come on. That's the same idea of, like, when the guy pulls your tag that has an instant response on the computer screen, already pulls it up and shows that you're 2 blocks away from your house, and he's like, all right, hey, where are you going tonight? I'm going home. I'm like, I live around the corner here. Oh, yeah? Yeah, I just saw that you were, rolling through that stop sign, but what are you talking about? Well, there was I mean, come on. But here's the problem. Guys, we can do better in the idea that we don't have so much surveillance, and I think that we've failed ourselves thinking that surveillance actually does make ourselves more secure. We're convincing ourselves of that. That more security going into an airport makes it better. I'm a physical security specialist, like buildings and all that stuff. And I just wonder, are we just giving people jobs? Just like the jails with 70, 80% or administration crimes, there was no person involved. So there's people sitting in jail where the only offended person or thing is the government. But yet the Supreme Court says that the city, county, state, and the federal government cannot be a victim to a crime. But see, that's what Chevron deference was supposed to reverse. And that would put a lot of people out on the street right now, because 70, 80% of people in the prisons right now, they're administrative crimes. That means the city, county, state, and the federal government was the victim. There was no Jane Doe, John Doe. See, we let this stuff go on in our country, but we don't even understand how our own Constitution works, how our own rights work. When's the last time you read your Bill of Rights of your state? Right? I mean, I'm just asking questions. Hey, John, what's up? Hey, brother, I'm going to go live at the Mexican border. Yeah, get a hold of me. We can do some simulcast stuff. It'll be cool. So it's a lot of things that I just wonder if we do, like, I think about, like, people's like, Trump is such an extreme right. I think Trump's a good Democrat. I think we don't even know what conservatism looks like anymore in this country. I think we have swung so far around the pendulum where half of us are over here trying to be Democrats. And I know that I'm saying that facetiously because that's why I talk about, because there's some ideologies that get into some groups up here, and I'm wondering, like, are you guys, like, what are we talking about here? But I will tell you that one thing I do believe that we've changed in the conservative or Republican side, and I hardly call myself a Republican anymore. I always call myself a conservative because I believe that there should be such limited government and absolute fiscal conservatism in the government. I mean, absolutely. Oh, I did a whole thing on studies on roads, and it was brilliant. I got into this. It was a whole thing, like how. What's the best state to live in where the roads are the smoothest, where you'll buy tires and shocks less? And that's according to miles driven. So it averaged out all the miles driven, and then how many shocks and tires are sold. Anyway, it's actually very clever. But Kansas was 19 in this. So if 50%, okay, so 25 is basically the median. That's a medium. So everything above that is money plus going this way, right? It's like, oh, well, you're kind of saving money going this direction because you're really getting away from the median, the middle, right? And then going this way, it was a whole thing. I thought it was brilliant. I wanted to get into the whole thing with this. But the very bottom of the list is Rhode Island. So it goes, Rhode Island is 50, Hawaii is 49, California is 48, New Mexico is 47. Now that's the bottom four, and they're all Democrat-ran strongholds. Now the one that I will give a little bit of question to is Missouri, and I would only say that's because if you've ever been in the switchbacks of the Ozarks or the Table Rock area or any of that, I give Missouri a little bit of a pass. Not a lot, a little bit. That I don't know if they should be 46th. But anyway, but then we go to West Virginia, Democrat. New Jersey, Democrat. Connecticut, Democrat. Utah, Democrat, right? So I think they just flipped to Republican. But then you go, Texas is at 41. But I will tell you, Texas roads do kind of suck. I don't know what it is about them and why they can't lay shit flat. It just drives me absolutely. I don't know why that is. I've seen them put brand new road down that sucks. I don't understand it at all. Now I'm gonna tell you that we've been getting that around here lately too, around Kansas. But anyway, we're at 19th in the whole list of things, so we're above the middle. So I thought that was all right. But anyway, isn't that clever? I mean, clever. It was kind of interesting how that all works out. So, all right. So I want you guys to think about how messaging works. I want you to think about how MK Ultra or mind control or propaganda or psyops, psychological operations. I want you guys to think about those things because you're living in them right now. COVID, they have admitted publicly, not like, oh, Jim Price, where did you hear that? Oh, I heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend. I mean, they've admitted publicly it was all a psyop. Every bit of it. Oh, and then old Jeffy Files verified that. And Jeffy Files showed where him and Bill Gates were already talking about it in 2009. And when they were going to release it and how they were going to practice up for it. Remember, old Billy was out talking about a pandemic that could kill a few million people? And all they did was just release snake venom. Do you know about that, right? You know, you've listened to Dr. Artis and all that stuff? And this is actually proven stuff. This is not me just making it up. All the symptoms of your COVID is actually snake venom. Yeah, you look it up. I'm not kidding you. And then the ringing in your ear, the tinnitus, they've actually tracked that back to Conan snail venom, which they put in the water as well. And the snake venom, they can actually aerosol that. You can buy cans of it. Yeah, from China. You can actually get it shipped here in America. You can buy cans of aerosol snake venom. And all that Ozempic stuff, all that GLP-1, that's actually Gila monster venom. Gila monster venom. It paralyzes your digestive system. That's all it does. It atrophies you from your bottom to your throat. You eventually start reversing out. Guys, the Jeffy files are verifying all the stuff that we're living through. And then, oh, by the way, remember that whole thing I talked about with President Trump talking about UFOs and verifying that? Well, now he's going to release. He's now commanding that we release everything. We're going to pull the pants down. Guys, remember this whole thing with Q and talking about disclosure? Man, I don't know. We're getting at you. We're going to do the UFO thing too. Because Trump did say, well, he broke classified. So you're not allowed to admit that they don't exist. So if you say that they, if you say they do exist, that's breaking it. Or if you don't stay, what? So it's got to be, I don't know what's real about it. Are there things other than us? If we only see 3% of the light spectrum that is around us, we only see this is not a Jim Price thing. This is a physics thing. They've proven it with all kinds of good stuff. We only see 3% of the light spectrum around us. We only see 3%. So you tell me what's around you. They talk about you battle against the principalities and the powers of the air. And I'm paraphrasing that. Right. But this is, we gotta, I think we are getting into a point where it's not, you don't have to let go of everything, but there are things you have to look at and that are no longer serving you, meaning that this is old information, this is an old habit, this is not real. We have to be refreshing that. We have to be learning. We have to be getting better. And that's just important. That's important for brain development as well as social development. We have to continue learning. And so this is just one of those deals. We have to get better with each other, right? So when we talk more, we get rid of the weird, right? If you want more liberty and freedom, talk about liberty and freedom more often. If you want to see things that are making sure that everybody hears about liberty and freedom, then you support them. You give to the Jim Price show, right? You donate, right? You're out there, hey, Jim, here's a, plane ticket. Here's a this or that, right? So you're helping me do certain things. If you want to see freedom go that way, well, that's fine. If you want to help General Flynn do his thing, that's fine. If you want to help Clay Clark do his event, then that's fine. But you got to pick what you're going to support and quit buying the shitty Oreos. Only buy real Oreos. Only buy real freedom. Only buy what you know is true. And I know you guys, here's the one thing I will tell you about the people that are on my show. I will tell you, the guys of the faithful, I watch you guys. You guys are hard. I can't get anything by you guys. You guys are tough on me. You guys are out there putting it to me all the time. And I do appreciate that. I'm not embarrassed by that whatsoever. I want to learn. I want to get it right. I want to do better. And there's something I can learn and get out there, that's what I want to do. And we all should be doing that to our own abilities. So anyway, guys, it is absolutely great to see all of you. I am going to get out of here. It's Friday, and thank you guys so much for everything you guys are doing. I hope you guys are celebrating each other and finding each other in the wild out there doing things and being together, because remember, that's where the energy is coming from. That's where the binding comes in. That's what happens. When we separate ourselves, we create COVID. We create the PSYOP. We mistrust each other. All right, guys, remember the 10% we do for our neighbor, community, city, county, state, the federal government. The more you do for them, the less to do for you. Learn how to be selfless and not so damn selfish. The world will be a far, far better place. Remember, hold the line, hold fast, do not give up, do not give in. We'll win. I promise. I make promises I can't keep, guys. You've always been the answer out there. Remember that Constitution? Yeah, we talked about that again today. Remember that? Oh, that limits the government, but never limits you. God, why don't you guys just learn that shit? That would be great. Learn your Bill of Rights for your state. Learn the laws and how they're really written, and then go in and actually contest those things against constitutional stuff. You can become your own constitutional scholar. You can put them to task, but if you never question it, then they'll never fix it. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. It's been great seeing you. Thank you guys so much for all the support and all the good stuff you guys are doing out there. I'm going to get out of here. I think that's about it for me. I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. You guys all be good to each other out there, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Bye-bye.